Welcome to Collecting Consciousness, where we aim to capture the ever-expanding and evolving conscious creations that originate from the minds of fellow podcasters, strangers, dear friends, and loved ones.
In this podcast, we will expand on our inner wisdom and a coming home to self. From our conscious minds to yours, we welcome you to the Collecting Consciousness. Welcome back to another episode of Collecting Consciousness. I'm Courtney, and that's Bethany, and we are two soul sisters, also sisters by marriage, and we are here to raise the consciousness. We are here to raise the frequency, the vibration, to manifest and to be in true alignment of our highest frequency. Like, that's what we're here to do. So we are just trying to collect all the knowledge so that we see the wisdom, so that we feel the wisdom, so that we know the wisdom, so that we hear the wisdom. We are so grateful that you guys are with us this far. We're like on episode 27, 28 or something. It's been a ride, and it's been fun just experiencing it all. And I just wanted to do that little inspiration, because there's inspiration all around us. So this episode, we are ending the series. We love doing series, by the way. Mm-hmm. And we're doing a 4-part series on intuition. So the ones that we've done so far are clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance, and today we are doing claircognizance. That means clear knowing. It's just an inner knowing that lies within us. And know, guys, that we can do all of these forms of intuition. You just have to consciously connect. You have to put the work in to open yourself up to these vibrations, these frequencies. We are potent beings. So the more that you lean into that, the more that you trust, the easier these things come to us. So I ask you to pay attention to the subtleties, to feel the energies around you, be observant, be aware, and welcome into another episode of Collecting Consciousness. How we like to start our podcasts. We like to do breath work, and we like to do prayer. So I'm going to send this over to Bethany, and she's going to lead us into a really juicy, yummy, inner body feeling of breath work.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Everybody, thanks for joining. And yeah, we're going to start with a little bit of breath work. It's just gentle and easy, and it's a useful tool for us and maybe you all, depending on where your day is, when you're listening to this. And it offers you an opportunity to just slow down your nervous system, to drop into your body, and to check in with what's going on there. So if it's available for you to join us, I invite you to do so. So you can be sitting, standing, lying down. You could possibly be driving if you'd like to join us for the breathwork part. And if it is available to you, I invite you to gently close your eyes. If you're driving, please do not do this. But if you can, I invite you to close your eyes, bringing the eyelids to a heavy resting place, allowing our awareness to turn inward. As we turn our awareness inward, we start taking notice of our breath. And just noticing the rate, the depth, the rhythm, and not trying to change it, just allowing it to be what it is with a curious mind, with a loving awareness. And then bringing our awareness to any areas of tension that we notice within the body, maybe behind the eyes, the jawline, maybe the tops of the shoulders, maybe in our chest or our belly. And just allowing those areas of tension to be what they are, not trying to shift them, not trying to change them or judge them. And I'm going to count to 3. And when I get to 3, I invite you to exhale completely. 1, 2, 3, exhaling, allowing all the breath to leave the body, allowing the belly to sink inward. And as you get to the bottom of this exhale, pausing for a count of 1, 2, inhaling, allowing the breath to find its way naturally back into the body. So allowing the belly to fill, allowing the lungs to expand, the chest to rise. And getting to the top of this inhale and pausing for a count of 1, 2, exhaling, maybe allowing a sigh to leave the body as the breath fully leaves the body. Getting to the bottom of the exhale, pausing for a count of 1, 2, inhaling, allowing the breath to gently find its way into the body, softening the belly outward, allowing the chest to rise and fill with this fresh breath. Getting to the top of the inhale and pausing for 1, 2, exhaling. Maybe you let a bigger sigh out this time, allowing the breath to completely leave the body. Pausing at the bottom to just sit in this stillness for a count of 1, 2, maybe staying for just a moment longer here. And then allowing the breath to find its way back into the body. Allowing the breath to return to its own rhythm and its own pace. This time without any force, without any control. And noticing if the tensions have shifted within the body. Maybe your shoulders are a little lower. Maybe your forehead is a little bit more relaxed. And if nothing's shifted, just holding a loving awareness of what is within your body. And if you would like to, I invite you to place one hand on your heart, followed by the other, as Courtney guides us in a beautiful prayer to set the space.
Thank you, Bethany. Welcome in to another episode. Can we allow our wisdom to send us nudges, to send us inner knowings, feelings, visions, sounds? Can we all tap into our innate, potent energy, a sacredness that lies within? We all are sacred. What do you feel in the body? Can you have that loving awareness, like Bethany says, to see yourself for exactly where you are? And know that we can shift and change as quick as the wind by being loving, graceful, accountable, and creating consistency. That we have to show up because we want to. We have to show up if it means something to us. So look within to see the wisdom, to know that we can be anything we want to be if we trust our hearts, if we listen to our hearts. So welcome into another episode. Let us dive in to see what knowledge lies ahead, to see what we've collected, curated for you all. We are so grateful to have you here. Pay attention now to your body. Do you hear little vibrations within the ears? Do you have a gut feeling? Can you feel that inner knowing that lies within the solar plexus? Wiggle those toes. Feel your heart. Feel your heart rate. Feel your breath. Slowly blink your eyes open. Continually leaving the hand on the heart. Let us set the intention. Allow me to see, feel, hear, and know the wisdom that lies within. The intentions are as simple as that. That's raising the frequency, raising the vibration. So trust that you have it all within you. And welcome, welcome, welcome.
Sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. How you feeling?
Great. I
Me
always
too.
love that.
Yeah, it's a grounding, like very much a grounding energy for myself.
Yeah. And just, I have to say, for anybody that's watching, or if you want to go peep out this sweatshirt that Courtney has on, it's our gear. It's our Collecting Consciousness podcast sweatshirts that we made. And it just looks so dope. I love seeing the little sun.
I know, me too.
Moon burst. Like,
it's going to be a tattoo at some point in my life.
I love it. It's like really cool how it's just coming in the frame. So if anybody's listening and you want to check it out, go to YouTube. You can see Courtney in it, repping it today. It looks really good.
And we're gonna be putting it on our link tree as well on our Instagram. So stay tuned for that, guys. I do have some people that want a sweater. Also, Bethany, when you get those business cards, she went out to a client last night. Oh, nice. She was like, all of a sudden she started talking very spiritual, and I was like, whoa, I've been treating you for a while now, and I did not know that. And then we just like started, the words and all the things. So I was like, oh, by the way, I do a podcast. Gotta shamelessly plug yourself, guys, to know that you have something important to do for yourself. Then toot your horn. Yeah. Fucking be humble, but also don't be afraid to pump yourself up.
Share it.
Yeah.
Self-esteem. Yeah.
Yes. Self-worth, which can lead into claircognizance. Claircognizance is an inner knowing, and it all stems from your solar plexus, and your solar plexus is your self-worth, your self-identity. It's all about self. So claircognizance is an inner knowing. You don't know how guys, this one is the simplest of simple ones. It is, you don't know how you know it, you just know it. It's as simple as that. It can kind of come into that gut feeling, but that's going to be more clairsentience. But the solar plexus just lives above the gut, just underneath the diaphragm. So that's where it sits. That's where that inner knowing is sitting. And another sign for claircognizance is like you wake up and you have solutions. You have solutions to your problems. Again, you don't know how you know it, but you just do. And people often come to you for that wisdom that they are just like seeking. They're like, oh, I know she always knows. I know he always knows. Then let me just go ask them. So honestly, I don't have much to say other than it is a straight up inner knowing. So the more that you build trust with yourself, the more you can really tap into that gift.
And I'd say it's like kind of nuanced where it's like as simple as that, but that is sometimes the hardest thing to trust. It's just like,
Yes.
I don't have any other
reasoning.
Yeah, I have no other reasoning because like we like to have reasons. We like to have
the logic, the mind always wants to chop in. Yeah.
So it's like, it is the hardest. I think it's the easiest, as in like, it's just,
it happens.
It is what it is. But it's the hardest because I've had so many moments where I'm just like, I know this, like, I also, just to tag onto this, and maybe you know the gate because I forget the gate and I meant to look it up. I want to say gate 9. Gate 9.
No, gate 9. No. Gate 9 is like knowing to like tedious energy. Like you can hone in on an energetic force that you see things very clearly.
Okay, but it also might be part of that is that you have that knowing, that you have this deep knowing about whatever it is that you're perceiving. And you're just like, I know this is how it is. Like, because I want to say that it was gate 9, but I don't know. There's a gate that I have in the chart that is like, you have a knowing and you need to trust it.
I'm just gonna scroll up on your mind body graph real quick.
Because
I don't think you had 9 in your gate.
Okay, so maybe it's not 9. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was interesting that with the human design aspect, there was a gate that I had, and oh, well, yeah.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say that like I have had these knowings since I was like really young, and the earliest one, it sounds so crazy and whatever, but as soon as I was like able to work in the workforce or whatever, get a paycheck, my mom has been like hounding me to put away in your 401k, put away in your 401k. Like, it was just like this thing that like, it was just a nonstop on repeat broken record of my life. And I was just like, I had no interest in it because I knew, even at age 16, like even at the youngest age that I could start working, I knew that I would not be seeing my 401k when it came time to retire, like when I was into my 60s or whatever time I was going to retire and receive those benefits. Like I knew there was just this knowing I had, couldn't explain it. But it's interesting as we traverse into this new, like where we are currently with like the financial system, and like any day now, the stock market could become very volatile and like crash. I just felt, and I knew, and I didn't know that context, like, I'm 37 now. That was when I was like 14, 15, 16. Like I had no context of like what the stock market was. I just knew that 401, I just knew that wasn't going to be something that like I was going to get to tap into like my mom did. Like my mom has totally benefited from her 401k. She's a living, breathing, like, yes, that worked for your generation, but I know for my generation, it's not going to be the same. And I had no way of ever explaining that other than I just know it. And not until the recent, like 5 or so years has it really started to unfold that like things may not look this way. Like when I get to my 60s, like
I know
let's pray to God. I don't know if anybody else.
Let's just hope that you are like bringing in the funds for yourself, that you don't need to worry about that.
Exactly, and
to shift the energy and realize that it worked for that lifetime. Like that our parents' generation, they had it's looking good for them.
Yeah.
They had really hard childhoods, but their adulthoods, their 20s, they were getting houses for $40,000. They're tapping into their 401k. I'm happy for them. So let's just know that we can generate energy different. We can do things differently. It's working for them, but we can tap into some sort of passive income, or like let that inner knowing come forth and seek. If the 401k is not the route for you, tap into that inner knowing. What is the route for you? Mm-hmm. That you don't need to have that.
Yeah. That's
beautiful. So I just want to jump in. I found it was too distracting to do the body graph and not listen to you, so I shut it down. But to be honest, I'm gonna go back in, but I'm pretty sure you don't have 9 in your chart. I would think it's gonna be more up into the projected channels. It was. So 9 is not in a projected channel. 9 is down by like the the generator channels, like it's in the lower part of the body. It's so it would be more of like there. I remember there is like an inner knowing up in the projected channels. Are you looking on your phone now?
I was just looking up at our
Yeah.
charts, but I hear you. I think it is up in the top
It's in the
ones.
mind. It's up in the head space.
What are those like
I
numbers?
would I can't tell you offhand. I'd have to look at the numbers. But I know that 9 is way down below. And 9 is all about like a tedious energy. It's like we can just see things like I can come in and be like, oh, Bethany's house needs this to make it flow better.
Okay. So that's not it.
Yeah, it's up in the head for sure. It's like, yeah, I do know that there is like an inner knowing.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Again, that'll be an episode of down the line. That'll be an episode down the line. But yeah, claircognizance, it really is all about this inner knowing. You don't know how you know it, and it's like you just gotta trust and start building trust to that inner knowing. Like I knew this chick, and we'd always joke, and people would be like, she'd be in the office, and she would just have these knowings about people, places. It's all about people, places, and things. Like you can just pick things up and you don't know how you know. And anyways, people would be like, how do you know? And we'd always joke that she'd be in the it was like a TV show, like an office type of sitcom, and something happens, and then everybody looks at this person, and she's just drinking her coffee, and she tips her head, and she's like, see, I told you so. But yeah, it's a fun one because it's just like, you trust yourself. It's all about sense of trust. Yeah. And really, we don't need to have anybody's validation. The validation is through your own. So if you're just leaning into like you're trusting yourself, then you don't need to go to this person for external validation to let you choose the thing you want to choose that your heart actually already knows. And even like, let's lean into like you wake up and you just have solutions, and it doesn't have to be, literally you wake up, but like sometimes that happens. You wake up and you figure out everything. You have problems to solutions. Do you want to lean in with a little thing we were just chatting with earlier?
Which one? The hand?
Yeah, the hand.
Yeah. So I have like this, Courtney knows the real term for it, but
Dupuytren's contraction.
Dupuytren's contraction. I have this like tendon thing happening in my hand where it's like, starting to contract anyways. And I was just tapping into it like, what is going on here? Like, what are you here to show me? Because I was like, I kind of knew, I was familiar with it because my grandpa had it. So it's like, I think this is what was happening to him. And so I just tapped into it. But one of the first messages I got was, you need to get back into yoga. And then I was, and I was like, okay. Because I've really fallen off my yoga train. And anyways, I was talking to Courtney this morning about it, and she was giving me advice to stretch. And she referenced yoga, and I was like, oh my gosh, because that was the message that I got, was that I need to get back into yoga and like start, stretching my hands and also stretching the forearms, like all of it, just stretching, just getting back into that practice. So
yeah,
I like to use
proactive,
going back to our previous episodes too, in this series, like, when your body, like the clairsentience, like when your body is aching, like, or you're having a new pain or a new something happen. Yeah, it's physical, and sure, there might be something like in my genes or in my biology that's like,
or what you did last week.
Yeah, or that. Yeah. But also like maybe it's trying to tell you something. Yeah,
always. To me, my brain, it's always energetically trying to we are energy. Like our whole existence is energy. So tap into that energy. Like to me now, really, if I get any sort of ache or pain, I am immediately first thought, what is the body trying to tell me? There's a great book out there, guys. It's called The Body Keeps Score. And the body, our cells hold memories, emotions, stories, beliefs. So truly, my first thought when I have a painful thing going on, I tap in energetically. Mm-hmm. And like you were saying to the previous episodes, ask yourself, connect with the clairaudient.
Mm-hmm.
connect with a clear, show me, like get specific.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah. And
Sorry, did I break your train of thought?
no, I was just saying, like, for me, it's on my left side of my body. So I'm tapping into, okay, this is the feminine side. I do struggle a lot with, like, being in my feminine, energy and essence. And so it's like, that was one of the, my mind went there too. Like, okay, this is like, but it's interesting to even tap into even deeper, like the actual uh, location on the body. Like, so your hips store a lot of emotions. They store a lot of trauma, a lot of like, past events, stories. Like your hips hold a lot of stories and energy and emotional traumas. So it's like when my hips ache, I tap into like, okay,
The emotional
have I had
side.
like if it's some severe emotions or, and this is an interesting spot to tap into and say, okay, it's on my left side, it's on my feminine side. Okay. And it's a hardening of the tendon. So are you asking me to soften even more? Are you asking me to soften even harder than I've ever
Yeah.
softened before? Like, I don't know,
Yeah,
like
totally,
just,
totally.
yeah,
But like
what are
trusting
the
that those
messages?
thoughts,
Yeah.
trusting those, yeah, because like literally for, a little bit leading to my side of the story, it's like when I was doing energy work, I've talked about this. It's like I used to be like, oh my God, is what I'm doing the right thing to be doing? And I had to really start trusting that those thoughts, those first thoughts that come to my mind, those first feelings, those first things that say, go right here, go there, for us, because our intuition is always speaking to us. So it's like it's connecting to those things. So those first thoughts that you have, yoga, do you need to soften more in your femininity? Yes. I think yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is truly your intuition being like, these are the things that you could be doing for you to help you on your journey. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really like those first, I mean, think about it. How many times have we heard when you are taking a test in school, that first answer is always the right one? They often say, don't change your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that first initial response, it's your body knows, your heart knows, your mind knows.
Yeah.
It just gets clouded. It just gets clouded with people getting you not to trust yourself. So it all comes back to building trust with self and then like tapping into that claircognizance. It's that solar plexus, that sense of self. So if you do have a lack of trust with yourself, hold space, see yourself for where you are in your journey. And if you want to start building trust, if you want to start really trusting that discernment within you, it starts with you. It starts with doing those things that get you connected to the body, that get you connected to the mind, to the soul. It's a process, and it's trusting the timing of your life that maybe you're not where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But like you're exactly where you're meant to be right now. If you're true, like we're always in that present moment. So can we just like trust that the wisdom will come? Like maybe you don't have the answer right now. Like there is still something that's sticking in my shoulder. And I do the energy work, I do the massage, I do the meditating. And sometimes little messages come here that, oh, get me to go to this next step. Mm-hmm. So if it's not fully presenting itself to me, it's not time. It's not ready. Just sit in the now and just be like, just have patience.
And maybe it's like those aches and pains, like for me with the inner child in my shoulder blade, like it pops up when it needs to give me a message, or like if I'm not being tender to my inner child, or if I haven't played enough, if I've been too serious,
if you're not softening into your feminine energy. So it's like, what could you do to soften into your energy?
Mm-hmm. And
what would you like to do that would soften?
Thought about it. What is
it? Let's hear it.
So I get in like a lot of the to-do list, like I'm like I just was like doing a mini reflection there for a second, and I was thinking, okay, yeah, my days have been pretty filled with like tasks, and I've just taken on a new like little side hustle with my dad, and that's been like very demanding of my energy on top of other things in the day. So for example, like this morning, I got up before our podcast, and instead of like getting the dishes done, which could happen at any point in the day, I should have probably just sat and like drank some water and or drank my tea and sat
Right.
and drank,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like slowed
Yeah.
down. And
Yeah.
so thanks for asking that question because I was thinking about, okay, like I've got to step out. Like masculine energy is very go, 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 task, 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 get it
Do
done, focus.
structured.
Yeah. And I got to soften and say, okay, I don't need to get those tasks done before I start the podcast, or like I don't
Right.
need
Yeah.
it just where can I find those moments of
Nurturing. Like, where can I nurture myself?
yeah, yeah. Like I've been doing a good job on my lunch breaks because I oftentimes can take lunch break and like I work from home, so I can tend to like stack
Eat.
wood or go work on something outside real quick or tasky. And so now I've been like sitting, eating, a salad or whatever I'm eating outside, just like slowing down, not you know what I mean, not working while I'm
Yeah.
eating. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
been cool. So I just need to, I think, also introduce that in the morning and do like a softening because once the day hits, there are things to be done, and I'm not gonna maybe be able to
Yeah.
like not do them and slow down. So yeah.
And those mornings too are like a quiet energy, a nice
Mhm.
time where you literally just woke up and you're still kind of in that theta trance
Mhm.
state, which is a great time to do meditations,
Mhm.
because like then you can get right back into that trance state where you get into the subconscious and you see things. But again, it's like it's a quietness, it's a honoring self. Like the mornings for me are definitely my cup of tea. I love my mornings, and it is just like really pulling on the things that are making me wake up and slowly get into things and not have to rush. And then also, like what we said, like the last episode, we were talking about just like to slow down. Often when we're doing these tasks, we're like, oh, I gotta get the dishes done.
Mhm.
Oh, I feel it. My nervous system is like
Mhm.
tensing up. Oh, can I just breathe while I do these dishes? Can I
Mhm.
breathe while I drink my coffee? Can I breathe while I drink my tea?
Mhm.
Literally just like honing in on that energy, and it gives you good indicators for where you're at. Oh,
Mhm.
hey, I'm actually quite tense. Oh, hey, I'm feeling really in flow, in a good state right now. Yeah, it's interesting when you clue in and you listen and you
Mhm.
hear what the body's telling you, and then you can either choose to help it or you
Mhm.
can choose to hinder
Continue
it.
on. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like seeing yourself exactly where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give you an awareness of where you need to go.
Mhm. So,
Yeah.
do you have any tips for how to strengthen your claircognizance? Like how to trust it more or just like go with it more? And
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so with these things, like they're also interchangeable, I find.
Mhm.
Really take a inventory of how you like to listen to yourself. So for me, journaling is just like really the thing that lights me up. Maybe, you set really specific intentions for yourself. Like, maybe you get this feeling, you get this inner knowing that this is the answer. So then ask your guides to send you a sign and like ask for a very specific sign. Maybe just 1 second. Um, Mama was licking her paw, and I get paranoid sometimes. Too much licking can cause hot spots.
Oh.
Anyways, so you could just ask yourself to get a specific sign. So maybe you ask for a blue jay, and then boom, that blue jay comes later that day. So being very intentional, journaling, even so doing solar plexus meditations. There's a bunch on YouTube. Um,
Oh, I think Courtney
self.
froze. Oh, you froze for a
Oh,
second.
oh, did I freeze?
Yeah, that
Weird,
was weird.
weird. Okay, where did you lose
Solar
me?
plexus, just solar plexus.
Okay, so the solar plexus meditations, there's a bunch of them on YouTube. Solar plexus is all about your sense of self. So if you feel like you don't really know yourself, I would start there. Like solar plexus, connect to yourself. Like, for me, like I'm a dancer. I really feel connected into myself when I'm dancing.
Mm. Oh, you froze
And that
again.
gets me
Oh,
weird,
that's so weird. Yeah. Okay.
really weird.
Dancing gets you.
Yeah, dancing. So dancing for me is just like a really big way for me to get connected to self. So I just I invite you to do the things that you feel most like yourself, and then ask for wisdom to come after you've started connecting to self. You know, maybe you go for walks and that makes you feel very connected. Come home, then journal and be like, what sort of wisdom do I need to know right now? And then maybe something just comes to your mind. Trust that first thing that comes to your mind. Trust that first thing that comes to your heart. I think a really great way for claircognizance, people who are feeling like they have that inner knowing, is really just get connected to self each day. Have little rituals for yourself that get you connected.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. And
Yeah.
then just also just like, for me, reflecting on in your
Yeah.
life, like do like
Yeah.
maybe a little reflection of your lifetime and be like, wow, have I ever just like had these knowings that maybe I've kept to myself, or like I've maybe acted on or said out loud that like I just haven't been able to explain. And now I have a context where I'm like,
Right.
okay, it's claircognizance. Like that's what that's
Yeah.
been all along. I've just been listening to my intuition. So maybe do like a little reflection of your life and just be like, oh, or have I known those things and not said them out loud or not acted on
Yes.
them, and I should have, because they came to be true.
Yeah.
So just like also taking an inventory in that way, uh, just to say, hey, I actually do have that skill. I've just been like totally distrusting
Practicing.
it. And
Yeah.
it's proven to be true so many times. And I've, maybe you've thought to yourself, man, I wish I had just said that out loud, or I wish I had acted on that,
Totally.
so just
Yeah.
like take an
You,
inventory. Hmm.
and you could also get a little partner, like a little friend. Like for me and you, like I love getting you to practice your clear cognizance. And I'm just like, what stone am I thinking of?
Hmm.
What color am I thinking of? And like you get it. Like now when you're when you're
Yeah.
excited, you're super
Harder
excited.
to access.
I'm like, Bethany, no, I haven't even thought of it yet. Just give me a second. And then when you literally hone in, you get it every fucking time. Every time. It always happens.
And
So,
yeah, go.
well, it's just like it's having a little partner you can practice with, like you want to strengthen these abilities, just have somebody be like, text your friend and be like, what am I thinking right now? Or ask them to do vice versa for you. And then that is just a volley where you are practicing, because it's all about practicing your skills. Like for me, I've been practicing my clairvoyance for like a year and a half, 2 years, even probably longer. But it's like those things are coming because I'm so putting in the work. You have to put in the work. You have to break down that those things that that distrust of self. You have to start trusting yourself. It comes back to just trusting yourself again.
Hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
remember what you were going to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if just personally speaking, like, when you're tapping in and you're doing little exercises like that, it is interesting for me because there's always a thought that's there first. And I feel like that's your like ego that like wants to be right, or like wants to like have its interjection of like, this is what it is. And you do have to like kind of sit for a moment longer than
Yeah.
what first pops in your mind. So if like the color blue, Courtney's asked me what color am I thinking of or whatever, and I first think the color blue, okay, cool. Now I'm going to sit there for a few moments longer.
See if it
And if blue
stays.
still comes up, then I might go with it. But like you
Yeah.
just have to, because your mind, your ego will always want to insert, because it's
Mhm.
that moment of,
Familiar.
yeah, well, and it's just like that's its job. Its job is to
Yeah.
guide you. Its job is to keep you safe with what it knows and what it
Yeah.
can know. And so, yeah,
The
you do have to just sit
familiarity.
there a minute longer and let it like sort of shift and just be like, okay. And then maybe you see the color. Maybe it's the same color that you first thought of. Maybe tap into your body. Do you feel that somewhere deep inside? Do you
Right.
feel like a little ping in your belly, like your little butterfly flutter? Okay, cool. That's another confirmation. Yeah, it probably is blue. Or, do you hear it, or do you just know? Like, do you just have
Right.
that like feeling? So it's cool to tap into and play those games and like, really just sit. That's a really great way to, yeah,
Hmm.
to
And then
exercise.
and even going back to like the journaling too, you could be like, you could spend your morning you could like do a little morning reflection, and you could be like, what am I going to know today? And then just write down a couple of things that you feel like you're going to know, and then reflect back at the end of the day and see if any of those things came up that were present. And again, just little techniques of how to tap into these skills, find those little things that fit right for you. But it's all about practice.
Yeah.
All about practice. And I like what you're saying of just like sitting in it, because we you know, I can do this too, where it's like rushing to do things, or to like get the answers. No, feel in, like slow. You have to slow down in order to get those subtleties, because they're very subtle. Sometimes they're loud, but a lot of the times the energy is subtle. The inner knowing, the inner feeling, the inner seeing, the inner hearing, like it's subtle, and it can go in a drop of a hatch. And like when you hone into these frequencies, when you hone into this energy, it's people like, we're often rushing so you don't see it. So, you know, maybe you are tuned in, really, really tuned in, and you can see it, and you're waiting for somebody else to see it, and maybe somebody else sees it, but maybe they don't. And then you're just like, oh, whoa, like there's an energy here. Oh, there's something beneath the surface that's not actually being spoken out loud. It's energy's deep. Energy never lies. Energy never lies. Tapping into the energy is something quite profound, and yeah, it's a beautiful journey, in my opinion.
Totally.
I love it.
Yeah. Anything else we should add on claircognizance?
No, I think it's really just like, it's just trusting that inner knowing. It's building that connection to self. It's really breaking down, you know, with all these different clairs. It's all about breaking down the constructs. Like, I think really in life, we really have to break down to come back to our pure essence. So if this is something that you're wanting to do for yourself, guys, like, find a buddy and you guys do it together and start practicing, or just start connecting to self and allowing yourself to show you these beautiful gifts, and it'll strengthen you on your journey, so that when the hard times come, you have more of an inner knowing that you can trust that things are going to be okay, because things are always going to be okay, even in the fucking shittiest of times. We are meant to experience a depth in this lifetime. So trusting that you always will have the answers. You just gotta sit and wait and poke and prod, and they're all there.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
So
it's beautiful.
yeah. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Well, so this episode, so with this series, we've been doing meditations at the end of the episode. So this is just a way to strengthen your claircognizance. So I'm going to be leading us into a meditation today. So what I'm going to ask, and pause this video. Maybe you want to go grab a crystal that's just really kind of screaming to you. Maybe you want to go grab some incense, light a candle. Maybe you want to take a moment just to sit in your being, sit in your essence, sit and get connected to self before you start this meditation. So pause now. Get yourself ready, get comfortable, get cozy, grab a blanket, grab a pillow, grab your favorite animal, and get them to snuggle with you, whatever feels right. Thank you for tuning in to Collecting Consciousness.
We're so grateful that you've been on this journey with us so far.
And we look forward to seeing where we are going to expand, curate, and collect.
So if you haven't already liked, subscribed, or shared our content, and you feel called to do so, we would so deeply appreciate it. From our souls to your soul, and our hearts to your minds. We are collecting consciousness.
Heck yeah. Alrighty, so with you being ready, perhaps you're laying down, perhaps you're sitting up, really allow yourself to sit in the energy of what it is you need to do for you. Connection to self. The beauty of connecting to self. We have all the answers. They lie within. So get comfy, get cozy, and let us tap in to our inner world to see what lies within, to see what wisdom is here for us. As we do this meditation, I want to invite you to allow your breath to flow in and flow out of you. And I have a little bit of housekeeping. I want you to exhale for 4 counts. I want you to hold your breath for 2 counts. I want you to inhale for 4 counts, and then I want you to hold for 2 counts. And I want you to keep repeating that cycle. And if you find your mind trailing off, and you want to come back to breath, or you want to come back, just come back to your breath. Keep cycling back to your breath. It will allow you to get into a trance state. It'll allow you to get into the subconscious. This is how we see ourselves. This is how we slow down our body to see our bodies for where they are. And if you can only count for 3 or can only count for 2, do what feels right for you. But keeping an alignment with your breath will keep you deeper into the meditation. Know that you are divinely guided, divinely protected, and divinely supported. Allow your breath to be a guiding force. And I want you to have an inner dialogue as we do this meditation. You know, if you feel like you have a thought that you want to listen to, go listen to it. See what wisdom lies within. If you notice your mind is looping, maybe you're holding on to thoughts and not letting them go. Let them trail down a river. See those thoughts. Be an observer, a key witness, to just see yourself for where you are. So welcome into the meditation, a place to explore. Follow my voice as I take you on a journey. You're standing in a field. The sun is shining. Golden rays are surrounding your body. You can feel them from the top of your head down to the toes. These golden rays, even coming off the body, creating 8 feet off the body, surrounding your energy, your aura. Maybe these golden rays have iridescent colors shining through. These rays are protecting you. They are supporting you, and they are guiding you. So really feel that energy, see the energy, know the energy, hear the energy. As you're standing in this field, the wind starts to sway, your body starts to sway, creating a delicate dance of connection. I want you to set an intention for yourself. The intention can be for the present, the intention can be for the future, but I just want you to channel the wisdom that lies within you. And when you have that intention in your mind, I want you to send it to your heart. And when you send it to your heart, I want you to let it flow through the body. Maybe it hits the shoulders. Maybe it hits the hand. Maybe it hits parts where there's discomfort. And I want you now to add a little bonus intention. I am here to fully trust myself. I am here on this earth to fully trust myself. I am here on this journey to trust myself. And now let us walk. Let us walk, picking our feet up, one after one, barefoot, feeling the earth beneath the toes, the soles of the feet. There's flowers as you walk this beautiful pathway. The flowers are at your fingertips, lightly grazing them. Black-eyed Susans, marigolds, goldenrods, colors of yellow, colors of red, all at the tip of your fingers. And as you make your way through this field, you come up to a maze, a hedge maze. It's a labyrinth made up of plants. Know that you are divinely guided, divinely protected, and divinely supported. Going through the maze, your fingers still touching the leaves, feeling the texture. The maze is about 10 feet tall. You turn left. You turn right. The soil beneath the feet, the sun peering down, the wind gently whispering, "Go find yourself." That's what the wind whispers. So you turn right, you turn left, you travel, you go deeper. You feel nature singing to you, nature expressing itself to you. And then you make your way, and there's this most beautiful bridge, an archway. The bridge is made out of beautiful architecture, the wood carving so beautiful, the details. What is embroidered on this bridge? And underneath this bridge is a gentle stream. You can hear the trickling of the water. Allow any healing to flow through you for your highest of good, sending you a healing energy to your body. For your highest of good, whatever it needs, know that the energy always goes where it's needed. So you climb over this bridge. And then you see this beautiful, beautiful oak tree with the texture so deep, your fingers grazing, carving out feeling the strength of the tree. You go behind the tree and you notice a door. The door is blue. Knock 3 times on this door. The door opens. And now you're in this beautifully dimly lit room with the beautiful ambiance of candles, low lights, amber lights. There are a plethora of chairs, couches, really beautiful, beautiful furniture lies within this room. There's a wood stove lightly burning its embers. Go sit down, and I invite you to ask yourself, your higher self, to come be with you. Maybe you see a version of yourself that is younger. Maybe you see a version of yourself that is older. Maybe you see your highest self, the purest of form. Go be with that energy. And I invite you to ask for an inner knowing, an inner wisdom to flood through your mind, body, and soul. And I invite you to ask them to cleanse you, to heal you, to give you exactly what you need. Trust that you have this power, that it all lies within. My voice will leave you now. I will come back. But now I invite you to allow your inner knowing to guide you. Perhaps you ask questions that you're seeking answers to. Perhaps you ask for healing. Perhaps you just ask to be a witness. So my voice will come back. Trust that you know what to do. my voice has come back. Wherever you are, bring yourself back to the dimly lit room with the crackling embers, candles lit all around. A deep reverence lies within this room. Being connected to self. How important to see yourself, to honor yourself exactly where you are meant to be, to treat yourself with kindness, with awareness, and with a purpose. So I invite you to look at yourself, maybe a younger self, maybe an older self, maybe your purest form, your highest form. Thank them. Thank them for taking you this far in your journey. Thank them for showing you what you need to do for you. When you honor you, you allow yourself to be seen, heard, and valued, validating yourself. Knowing your sense of self, knowing who you are, is one of the most important guiding forces in your lifetime. So let us make our way back through the labyrinth. Ask yourself to come along, to stay with you, if that's what feels right for you. Or if you are ready to leave and walk the path, then say your goodbyes, but know they are always with you. And if you didn't see anything or feel anything or hear anything or know anything, know that's okay. Trust that there's things beyond what we can see sometimes, and to trust that our guides are always with us. And the more you build connection to self, the more you strengthen these gifts. So let us make our way through the door, making our way around the oak tree. Perhaps your fingers gliding along the tree, feeling that ancient wisdom that lies within that tree. Going back over the bridge with the lightly streaming stream, foot after foot, going through this labyrinth, this inner knowing just guiding you, turning left, turning right, trusting the sense of self has all the answers you need. The more we connect to self, the more we trust. The more bridges we break down to our pure essence. I am here to truly trust myself. I am here to fully trust myself. I allow myself to be seen, heard, and valued. Out of the hedge labyrinth, you make your way back to the open field with flowers all around. The sun now setting, colors of orange, yellow, and red fill the sky. That sweet smell of fall, crisp, earthly, filling your nostrils, filling your energy. Make your way to the field, into the middle of the field. Feeling the flowers beneath your fingers. I invite you to set one lasting intention. Maybe it's the same intention from the beginning. Maybe it's a new one. Allow it to flood through you, going from the mind to the heart to the body. How do you want to go forth your day or night? Trust the wisdom within. Trust the self that has all the answers. Placing your hand on your heart, on your stomach. Feeling the breath flow in and out of you. Maybe you feel a connectedness just below the rib cage in the stomach. That sense of self, that solar plexus. Feel your toes, your fingers. Allow yourself to come back to your body. Maybe there's a stillness in the mind. Maybe there's an inner knowing in the mind of what you need to do for you. Thank yourself for going into your inner world, to allow yourself to be seen, heard, and valued. And know that if heavy emotions came up for you, painful, hold space for that part of you. Seeing the shadow of self, holding space for the shadow. Maybe something you've been putting off because of fear kept coming to your mind. Maybe your inner soul is asking you to choose to come from a heart-based love, to do the things that scare you. Wherever you are on your journey and wherever you're going, trust in the divinity that is all around us. Trust that there's something bigger than you and I. So when you're ready, maybe you are laying down, maybe you turn on your side and get into a fetal position. Maybe you start swaying your body side to side, forward and backwards. Maybe you take your hands and rub your legs, rub your arms, feeling connection to self. The hands on the head grazing through your hair. Maybe your eyes blink open. Maybe you rub your hands together, creating a heat, and then placing it on your heart to send an energy of love, of connection to self. And keep that intention in your mind, body, and soul, in your heart. And see what the day unfolds. I invite you to journal your experience or move through the experience. Go for a walk, a drive, maybe listen to music, drink some water, have some tea, eat something delicious, and truly thank yourself for showing up for self. Until next time, we are collecting in consciousness. Like, subscribe, and please share to anyone that you feel would resonate. And we'll see you back again next week for another episode. Bye for now.